Hi everybody, how y'all doing? It is Mary Jo from MaryjoesCreations, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, so happy that you stuck around. And if you haven't, welcome to the shit show. Wow, this yarn just I don't know what happened. This is the first time I'm using this yarn, and it's very interesting to say the least. It is Premier Puzzle yarn, and it's, I don't know, different than yarn that I've used before. But anyway, I hope everyone's doing good. It is Sunday night, and I've just been a little crazy today. I wanted to start filming earlier, but it just didn't happen. I needed to take a break from the granny squares. The last... Well, no. I don't think I've put any of those videos out yet. I hope you watched the video that I put out. Actually, I believe it came out today, on Sunday. Yes, I put it today. I finished editing it yesterday, and my Granny Square Vlogmas blanket is finished. I put the video up. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. That blanket is massive. Now, I've been working on the other Granny Square blanket, the fancy Granny Square blanket, and I think I did show that in a previous video that I put up before that one, before my Vlogmas blanket. And I've been working on those. I worked on those pretty much all weekend. But honestly, I needed to take a break from them because it was just a lot. And I don't get bored. It's just that I just wanted to work on something different. I needed a break from the granny squares. I wanted to work on something that was just consecutive. And, you know, the granny squares, they're not that big. And I've been working on them, and I did so many. I think I only have 9 squares left to go for the whole thing, and then it's just putting them together. So I, figured I could take a break and work on something new, and this really is something new. I am trying to design a new cardigan that's also going to be more like a, kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like a coat. I don't get, unless it's like really cold like it is for me right now, which is like I think in the 30s at the moment. But when it's like 50s and stuff like that, I don't get really cold. So I wanted something that was a little bit more solid than a hexie cardigan. But I wanted it to be like cardigan style. But I also wanted it to be like a no-sew kind of thing. And make it more or less one piece. Well, actually, it is going to be one piece because all I'm going to have to do is attach the top, which is going to be crocheted. I still don't know how I'm going to do it. Whether I'm going to do, you know, like either the join as you go or single crochet. I'm not sure yet. But anyway. And then the sleeves are going to be done directly onto the cardigan because I don't like, I always do my sleeves like that. I always do my sleeves directly onto the project. I never do panels for sleeves. That's just me. But I wanted to try something different, and I saw something similar to this, and I don't know. If you've watched me long enough, you know my brain works weird, so it's something new that I'm trying, and I'm working on it. And I got pretty much of it done, but, and I'll give you a sneak peek. So this is the front. This is going to be one of the front panels. And I already split it, right? And I'm working on the back of it right now. And believe it or not, this is just one skein of the Puzzle Premier yarn. And I'm almost done with it. So what I really wanted to do was see if I could finish this tonight. And I have enough. I believe I want to make this a hoodie. If I have enough. I do want to make this a hoodie, but I want to see if I have enough first. And I do have, I believe, 3 more full skeins. So, one skein pretty much gave me, maybe half this cardigan. But anyway, this is not what I came on to talk about. I came on to talk about more or less what I plan on doing this year. And, you know, what I didn't finish last year, what I'm bringing over, and a few things like that. Today I was looking at all the whips that I carried over, and if you've watched my Vlogmas videos, you know I started off last year in December with, I think, like 18 whips. And actually was a little bit more than that because I had bookmarks on there like just once, but I think I finished like 4 or 5 bookmarks. And so, like, you know, but I only counted it as one. They didn't take me very long. But anyway, I had, I think, like 19 active whips. One of them I frogged. And I believe I have my list here. Where is it? I believe I had a total of like I added that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one I frogged. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, something's off. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so I had 18 whips. Now, I did end up frogging one. And we did start a few last year. Some hats. We did a hat and scarf set. Just a bunch of stuff. But I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 whips that I carried over from December. And I believe 2 of those I started during Christmas, but I wasn't able to finish them. So they got carried over. So these whips I definitely want to get finished by no later than February. And the reason why I say February is because there are a few things that I want to do from now until February. I'm working on this right now, but I also have, which is one of my whips, it was supposed to be a V-neck granny stitch raglan, which I'm working on, but I kind of like turned that into like, it was supposed to be just purple, but I didn't have enough of that yarn, and so I decided to actually turn it into like my birthday / Valentine's Day sweater, and it's going to be a lighter shade of purple, the purple that I started with, a lighter shade of purple and pink, and I did work on that already this year, and then I stopped because I wanted to work on those squares. I want to really get the squares finished. And then once I finish the squares and they just have to be attached, I can do that as like, you know, a break project. You know, like right now, like if I'm like I was working on those squares, right? And I needed to take a break. So that's why I picked this up to work on this for a little bit. And actually, when I started this morning, or this afternoon, because I did work on the squares for a little bit this morning, but when I started this afternoon, I was right here. I had just finished, I had left off here, and what I did to finish this, the split, was to chain all the way up. And I am writing this down, so if it works out, it will be a pattern that I have. But I've done this much so far, and I think that's pretty good. On and off today. I've been taking it kind of easy because I'm still not 100%, well, unfortunately, I'm never 100%, but I'm still not back to my normal self. You know, the pain is just a little too overwhelming still, but we're getting there. So, what I was saying, because I'm always veering off, I gotta count my rows. I'm very bad at counting my rows. I really am. I just keep going and going and going, and I forget to log them down. But anyway. Yeah, so I've been working on my V-neck sweater too. And I stopped working on that because I really just wanted to finish those granny squares, right? So all that yarn that I was using, that fancy yarn for the granny squares, that is all gone. I finished all of it. The squares that I'm working on now, I can show you these. These are the squares that are left. These aren't all of them. There's 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 8 left. And all of this yarn that I was trying to get rid of, all gone. These are going to get the variegated yarns on them. And I already have them like split up. It's not going to take me long to finish them. Probably by tomorrow morning, all of my squares will be done. And then all I have to do is attach them. And that is going to be my attaching them, and then doing the border is going to be my break project, right? So when I need a break from something heavy, something that's, you know, going to take a while, I have that to attach it, and it's just like my break project. And the other two projects that I really want to get done before February is this cardigan that I'm working on now and my V-neck granny stitch raglan. There's a mouthful. And like I said, this one is going to take a while. Maybe a couple of days, you know, like hopefully by the end of the week, I will have it completed, but I'm going to be working on and off this one and that one and my V-neck, right? I'm not going to show you that right now because it's behind me on the floor and there's no way I'm going to bend back and get it because my back is killing me and I honestly don't feel like getting up because my leg is falling asleep. I'm just a hot mess. I want one of those like little emotional support dumpster fires because that's what I feel like right now, like a giant dumpster fire. But anyway, the point of this video, the whips that I'm carrying over from December is the V-neck granny stitch sweater, the Bernat granny square blanket that I'm working on, which is also, I think I have 2 skeins left. I don't know how much that's going to give me, and I'm probably going to have to buy another skein to make it a decent size, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I have that blanket that needs to be finished. My granny square cotton top, my living room blanket, which definitely needs to get finished this year, but that's probably going to be the last whip on this list that I'm going to be working on. My Halloween Hexie cardigan, which I want to get done because whatever yarn is left over from that, I'm going to use on the Halloween Granny Square blanket. That, those orange and purple squares that I was doing during Vlogmas, the reason why I haven't been working on that is because that yarn is going to be whatever is left over from the Halloween cardigan and some other yarn that I have from my Halloween cardigan, but I want to use it all together to make squares because apparently now I'm on a fucking granny square blanket kick that I can't get enough of. And I really do want to work on that. So, that's another one. My wind spinner, which that shouldn't take me too long to finish, but I'm not rushing on that because it's cold and I'm not putting it outside now and I don't really need it at the moment. That's probably going to be one of my last whips that I work on. This new sweater that I'm not going to say what it is, but I am working on another sweater that's going to have kind of like pentagon shape to it. And then there's going to be, there's the Christmas Hexie cardigan, which I never got to finish because I had all those blanket orders and I don't know why all of a sudden I'm on this blanket kick. Everyone wants baby blankets and blankets for me. It's crazy. And the last whip that I have is the fancy granny square blanket, which is going to probably be the first whip finished. It's going to be between the granny square, this one, and the sweater. They're probably all going to get finished around the same time, which I'm hoping is this week. This week, I want to focus and lock down and work on all those 3 projects. Because, you know, like, my attention span with the ADHD, I can't focus on something too long. It drives me crazy, and I won't be able to do it. That's why I always had 3 or 4 whips going at once, because I jump from one whip to the other. and try to get them finished more or less around the same time, right? So those are the 3 whips that I'm going to be working on this week. Now, did I start any new whips in January already? Of course I did. I started on a granny square, a giant granny square, just one granny square blanket to have in my living room, because I do watch this little girl that I love very much, my friend's granddaughter. She's like my best friend, but her granddaughter, I watch her every once in a while, and she kind of stole my shawl and wants to use it as a blanket. So I did make her a baby blanket when I first started crocheting. That was one of my very first crochet projects, was her baby blanket. And I believe it was done in half doubles. I think I started it in single and ripped it all out and then did it in half doubles. But anyway, I decided that I wanted to have a blanket here for her. And then, you know, like, just make it, as she gets bigger, I make it bigger, and then it can just be a living room blanket. But I did start a granny square blanket, and I did get pretty much, you know, a pretty decent size, maybe like about like that much, like what, like, it should be about maybe like, I think 14 inches by now, give or take. But that won't take very long either, but that is the, technically that is the only whip that I started. I did put this one down. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because I did rip it and start it over again. So this one is actually, like, I put it for January because I think my stitch count was off. Or, no, I couldn't remember what hook size I used. So I did rip it back and start all over. So technically, I did start this in January again because, again, I ripped it back because I couldn't remember if I was using a 6 or a 6.5, but I am using a 6 right now. And those are all the whips that I have. Now, the 2 that I just started this year, you know, it is what it is. They shouldn't take very long. I haven't started anything else. I've been working on, I mean, it's only day 11 of January, right? So, I worked that first weekend of January. I worked on the blanket, the, Vlogmas blanket, which is finished and it's beautiful and I use it every day. Every night I use it on my bed. And I've been working on one of the whips, which is the fancy blanket. And that's what I'm calling it. For right now, that's what I'm calling it. So, right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 whips. Hopefully, by the end of the week, we'll have 3 whips down. Maybe 4. Who knows? That blanket, which all the squares are almost done, and attaching it won't be that hard. I think the hardest part will probably be doing the border all the way around, right? And the V-neck sweater, I would like to get that finished. And I would like to get this finished, Whether that's going to happen or not, your guess is as good as mine, because I might not want to work on either one of them and pick up on one of my blankets. Who knows? I've been going crazy. But those are the two that I want to really finish before the end of this month, is this one and my V-neck sweater. I really want to get those done because I would like to wear either one or the other for my birthday. Depending on how cold it is, I am going out for my birthday, and I would like to wear one or the other. So that's what I'm trying to get done. I have about 2 weeks. My birthday is on February 2nd. So but I'm going out on the 1st for my birthday with my friend. So, like I said, about 2 weeks. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on until they're finished, as much as I possibly can. Now, I think I did pretty good today. You know, I got this much done without really even trying. I mean, I think I maybe worked on it for like 3 hours in total, not even. I don't know. And to be honest, I wasn't really working very fast. It's just something to keep my hands busy. You know, I wasn't really trying to crochet as fast as I could. I was just crocheting. But I want to have all these whips finished by the end of February, beginning of March. And you know how it goes. You know that I'm going to end up starting new whips while I'm working on these, because that's just how Mary Jo is, you know. I'm just, you know, a little crazy, a little weird. And when an idea strikes me, I just want to start it so I know what I'm doing and I don't forget about it. That's how my weird-ass brain works, right? So, I really want to have all of these done and finished, like I said, by the end of February, beginning of March. And we are going to be adding new projects to it, you know, but I also, that's one of my goals, right, for this year, is to have all of these whips that I carried over to be finished by March, at the very latest. One of my other goals is for me to go through all the patterns that I've written down and redo them all. See if the patterns work. Clean up any mistakes that I might have, not mistakes, but, you know, I don't even know the right word for it right now, because my head is like, you need to stop and you need to take a break. But, what was I saying? Wow, just that fast. Kinks. Work out any kinks that are in the patterns. If you've watched my previous videos, I've always said that, you know, when I first make a garment, or anything, really, anything, mostly all I make, if you're new here, is wearables and accessories. Bags, cuffs, bookmarks. I gotta think. Keychains. This little thing here, I started making those. I'm going to make those into keychains. Market bags. Regular bags. Tote bags. Book sleeves. Bookmarks. Keychains, which are usually granny squares. I make tiny granny squares and make keychains, put them on keychains. They're really cute too. I make like 2 different sizes and put them together. Flower bookmarks, flower appliques that you can attach to your bags. I have this one bag that I made for myself last year that I want to duplicate, and that's one of the things that I really wanted to do before Valentine's Day, because I wanted it to be like, and maybe even for my birthday, because I wanted it to be, actually, that's a good idea. And it shouldn't take me long to make it. That might be something that I'm going to start sometime soon. But I'll show you the bag. Hold on one second. My hands, they don't want to work. It is one of the bags that I want to recreate. And it would be nice if I could do it for Valentine's Day, because I did want to make it pink or shades of pink. But hold on. Okay, if you've seen, I think this video actually went, this vlog went viral. I think I got like over 1,000 views on my bag. But I don't know if you saw my video. I made this bag last year. Here's the front. I use it all the time. And it's my granny square pocket bag. And these are the little flowers, and there's like a rose here. I make these, I guess these are kind of like appliques, and I use these flowers for some of my book sleeves. I do have those, I think, up on my website, but I started making these flowers to put on my book sleeves, and then you wrap wow, words escape me. I make a long chain, and I use that to wrap it around, because for the life of me right now, I cannot think of the word that I'm looking for. And these little flowers here, I use for bookmarks. I have a bookmark here. Let me show you. See the stem? And I have a bunch of these. I gotta make a bunch of more, because I don't have that many. But I also took one and I turned it into a little, I gotta fix it, or I have a better way of doing it now. But this is when I first tried doing it. But I have a bunch of these that are, you know, little appliques that you can put keychains or charms on your bag. But I want to recreate this bag, and I want to do it in different shades of pink and purple. And if I recreate it, if I follow the pattern and it comes out really good, then I'm going to start doing them to put up on my website. But I also might write it down as a pattern. Now, I know I've said it before, but I think that this year I might put out a pattern or 2. I'm not sure, but I do want to go over them and recreate everything and make sure that the pattern that I have for myself is good and there's no mistakes in it. Tweak it and tweak them. Make sure that they're good and they're easy to follow. And in order for me to do that, I need to redo all of them, all the projects that I have done last year. And that is definitely going to be a video where I'm going to take all of the projects that I made last year, all of my bags, all of my cardigans, everything that I want to recreate, and I want to take it into my workroom, because I have a bunch of stuff in there that also, and I want to check them against the patterns that I have written down. I want to take all the notes that I've written down and transfer them into, once I recreate them, they're going to be transferred into a notebook that I am going to have as my pattern book. And that is my second goal. And I'm working on my other goals. I'm not sure what other goals I want to have. I haven't honestly sat down long enough to think about it because of everything that's been going on with my, my fibromyalgia. But another goal that I have is to be more consistent in posting and make sure that I can, keep up with my channel and grow my channel and have more of you wonderful, lovely people, come and join the craziness and the party and, follow this journey with me, see what else we can create or recreate and make, and see how much I can make in a year. Now, last year, I wasn't even trying. Well, let's not say that. Let's say that I wasn't rushing, right? I was trying very hard to get certain things done. But, I got sidetracked on a lot of things, and this year I'm a little bit more prepared. A little bit more prepared than last year. Oh, but, I am more experienced this year. I went through a lot last year. And last year, even when, last year was the first year that I was truly crocheting, learning new things. I've, again, only been doing this this is starting my third year, and so I'm very proud of how far I've come. And, another goal is to maintain my website, get as much stuff up there as I can, make more product, and that's why I do have to go over all the patterns that I have, because, yes, I want to get more bags up there, different styles of bags, just some tote bags that I want to make, and ponchos, cardigans other than hexie cardigans, although I love my hexie cardigans. But, I want to have a variety of things that I make for myself to put up. I don't know if I'm going to put up any blankets. Maybe baby blankets. I'm not sure. And that's what I also want to figure out. That's another one of my goals, to see what I want to make. Hats, scarves, maybe some fingerless gloves. Uh, I do make those, but I want to perfect my patterns a little bit before I do that. Um, and just a bunch of new things that I want to try. But my immediate goal is to get all these whips finished, because if I can get all these whips finished, then I will, number one, have more stuff for me and have stuff to go up on my website, right? Because not all of this is for me, but most of it is. The V-neck Granny Stitch Raglan is mine. The brunette Granny Square blanket is also going to be for me. But depending on how long, it didn't take me long to work that up. I think it took me like 4 hours to work that up. And it's pretty big right now. So depending on, how long it takes me to work that up, although I really don't like working with blanket yarn, but if it doesn't take me that long to work it up, I might do some of those and put those up on my website if they're not, if it's cost effective, cost efficient. And that's what I want to work on, like what I want to put up and what I don't. What I want, maybe might make custom orders. This is all very new to me. I didn't start this to sell my stuff. I started this for me and my friends and people who know me and who know my work. They encouraged me to, put things up for sale. And I've had, some people buy stuff. And that's wonderful because, I love sharing my stuff. I never thought that I would be good enough to be able to sell my stuff. And I'm just so grateful that there are people who think that, my stuff is that good. And it's just nice, It's just nice to know that people appreciate the hard work that I put into things. And that they like the stuff that I make. So, this year is going to be all about learning more and growing. And let's see. The living room blanket is mine. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 things that are for me. But if the patterns work out, 2 of these things might, or 3 of these things might be patterns that I'm willing to write out and items that I might be willing to put up on my website, right? So that's the V-neck Granny Stitch Raglan. I have to say it slow or else it gets all jumbled. The brunette Granny Square blanket, and the I believe it's made with sorry. It's the Granny Square cotton top, and I believe that's made with the Karen All Day Cotton. The living room blanket is mine. I'm not making a blanket that size to sell because I don't think anyone would pay what it would be worth. Maybe if it would be a custom order, but again, that blanket is going to be way bigger than my Vlogmas blanket. And that's why it's taking me so long. That and the fact that I was just pulled away. The only reason I haven't really worked on that is because I've just been so busy with the baby blankets and the cardigans and all that stuff. But I will be working on that. And like I said, that's probably going to be the last, one of the last whips that I work on. But the Halloween Hexi cardigan, I mean, now it's a little bit early for Halloween, but that I want to get finished to put up on my website. Because that one wasn't for me. That one was just to put up on my website. And I don't know if that one's going to have a hoodie or not, but we'll see. And then the Halloween Granny Square blanket, that's going to be mine. The wind spinner, I was just doing that for fun. I don't really, I made it out of cotton. And it was taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. So I am going to finish it. I don't really like to frog things. Unless they're really not working out. But I am going to finish that. And then that sweater is for me. But if I can get it to work out the way I want it to, I will probably write out the pattern and maybe make one or two to put up on my website. And the Christmas Hexi cardigan was going to be for me. But if I could finish it, then I will have it for next Christmas. And I won't have to go crazy trying to get a Hexi cardigan, because I did not have a Christmas cardigan to wear this year. And that last year. And that was not okay. You know? And then my fancy Granny Square blanket. So all of these things right now are things that are for me at the moment, but they're also, you know, patterns that I'm writing out and testing out so that I could hopefully make some to, number one, put up on my website, and number two, have a pattern for it and maybe put out some patterns this year, you know. And there are other things that I want to work on and other goals that I have, and we will go over those maybe sometime this week. I also want to count all my yarn labels from last year and see, and that's what I was saying before, like, last year I really wasn't trying to, like, you know, use a lot of yarn. I was trying to figure out what I'd like to make and learn things, like, you know, get my skills better than what they were, because I'm a new crocheter. But I wasn't even trying, and I think I used over 200 and something skeins. So can you imagine how many skeins I'm going to use when I try? That's going to be a little frightening. And mostly what I use is acrylic yarn or cotton yarn. And my acrylic yarn, you know, all my projects are big, so, you know, I'm using like 4 or 5 skeins at a time with, like, you know, 300 and something yards. So I'm really curious to see what my yarn usage is going to be for this year. It is January 11th, and I think so far this year I have used like 6 or 7 skeins. Because I used, I think, like, what the hell? 2 skeins for the border of my Vlogmas blanket. And I finished, I think, 1 skein for this blanket that I'm doing, this fancy blanket. And I believe it's like 4 or 5 that I have in my workroom. I can't remember right now. But we can add one more because I just finished this skein of Premier Puzzle Yarn. And I will show it to you in just a second. I've finished the entire skein. So, for today, I've used one entire skein of yarn. It was maybe like halfway. If that, maybe. Yeah, it was about halfway done. But I finished it today. So that's one more, and I think that's as much as I'm going to crochet, and I'm just looking at the time, and I've already been sitting here for almost an hour. But yeah, today I just wanted to come on and share some thoughts of what I've been doing, what I want to do, the projects that I carried over, what I want to finish, and all that good stuff. And we will be, I also want to figure out some strategy for these videos, but, I don't have any themes or anything like that. I just want to work on projects and maybe, share some of my techniques with you guys, my makes with you guys. I'm not sure how I want to... Oh, and I finished. Here, I'm going to pull out one just in case. I rather have pull out a stitch and have a long enough tail so that it doesn't, like, slip out. I do gotta say, this yarn was a little weird to start working with at first, but now I kind of like it. So, this is how much I got done all day. Which isn't bad, because, again, this was an hour, I think maybe for 3 hours at the most. 4 all day. I still can't sit here for very long. Maybe an hour at a time, if that, because my fibromyalgia is still not, it's still acting up a little bit, and I think it's also because of the weather, but I do gotta mark down my rows, but I don't think that's bad. I think I did a pretty good job. This is going to be the back. And one skein of Premier Puzzle Yarn is finished today. Yay! So today I used one skein. Yesterday I know I finished at least one. Maybe two. It's in there. I don't know. Oh no. I finished one skein of yarn today. It might already be in my workroom. But I did finish one skein of yarn. So this is the second skein of yarn today. And we're on day 11. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap this video up. We are going to work on the whips that I carried over. That is the main priority. And get as many of these done as possible. Hopefully, the 3 whips that I discussed will get finished before the end of the week, or at least close to being finished. I mean, the week just started, right? It's Sunday. So, hopefully, by next Saturday, I can have the blanket finished, or maybe the sweater. I don't know. I don't know how long the blanket is going to take me. Those squares will definitely be finished tomorrow. Probably in the morning. I did work on, I think, like, this morning, I finished, like, something like 4 or 5 squares. And you'll see what I mean in the video that should probably be going out on Tuesday or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out that schedule too, but since I really didn't put out anything last week because of I didn't put out as many videos as I wanted last week because of my fibromyalgia. I wanted to give you guys something today, so that's why I put up, because that video should have gone up a long time ago. I just did not have the strength in my legs to stand up and do that reveal, because the video was pretty much filmed, but, you know, like, I had put it all together, but I needed that clip of me showing the blanket, and there was no way I was going to be able to stand on my couch and do that. I think I did that yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday, and then I added it to the video because my legs were just not having it. And, you know, it was the first week of the year was rough, but we're pushing through. And we are going to try and I'm going to try and get myself as organized as I possibly can. Because every time I try to organize, shit just hits the fan and it's like, yeah, no, you're not. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to take it one day at a time. And, you know, one day I'll be able to maybe crochet quite a bit. And the next day, maybe I won't. That's, you know, the fun of having this, whatever you want to call it. But I'm just grateful that I can crochet, and just going to take it one day at a time, and hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens next. But there's a lot of things that I want to do this year, a lot of patterns that might be done. A lot of sweaters and cardigans and bags and a whole bunch of stuff. And I have a bunch of video ideas, and hopefully we can get all that worked out. And I'm going to share it with you as soon as I know anything about it. And that's, you know, all this video was just me crocheting with you, showing you a little sneak peek of what I'm doing, and, you know, sharing some of my plans. I still don't have everything worked out, and again, it's just like my head is still a little foggy, and I still have to figure things out, but a little bit is better than nothing, and I have somewhat of a game plan. I am also going to be keeping a log of everything that I start, and, you know, there are some projects where I do finish in a day. Like if I get the urge to make a hat, which happens quite frequently, where I just feel like I want to make a beanie, we just make a beanie. And I'm going to keep a list of that too. So I have this notebook that I've actually had for a while, but I have this notebook that has 2 sections divided, and one section is going to be on longer projects where, you know, they're going to take me a couple of days or a week to do, hopefully, and, you know, they're not going to get done in a day, so it's going to be active whips. And then I have a section where it's going to be projects that I finish in a day. You know, so like keychains and stuff like that, like those eyes and granny square keychains and beanies. Oh, sorry. Beanies, bookmarks, little things. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on. Cuffs. Excuse me. Oh my god. Scrunchies. Which I don't make too many of. Scrunchies I have the hiccups. Wonderful. Scrunchies I usually make for myself. I'm not, I do make them for, like, friends. I don't know if I'm going to start making them to sell. But scrunchies. Things that take me, like, scrunchies take me, like, 45 minutes, half an hour. It depends on how my hands want to work, and I don't like working with chenille yarn. I don't really like working with blanket yarn, but it hasn't been bad doing that, and I was using the Mainstay blanket yarn, which is pretty good, and I am liking that blanket. It's not taking long to work up at all. I just haven't touched it because I'm doing 50 other things at the same time, which is awesome for me. But anyway, there are also stitch markers that I want to make, but that's another conversation. But little things like that, I have a section in my book that I'm going to be writing down. So, you know, if there's projects that I make in a day, again, like beanies and, I mean, scarves, I can probably finish it in a day if it's a small scarf, like for a kid. Normally, scarves can take me anywhere from 8 to 9 hours because, 6 to 9 hours because I make blanket scarves. I make very big scarves. And I do want to make another V-stitch scarf. But like fingerless gloves, you know, small things like that I start and finish in one day. I have a list in my book for that. So we are going to keep a log of everything that I do. And that's for my benefit. I want to start keeping a log of it so I know how much I'm doing. And, you know, when I write down my patterns, especially like with blankets, but I didn't do it with this sweater, although I should have. But I do like to mark down sections, like when I start. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am very tired. I'm done crocheting for the night. It's like 11 o'clock. I normally do write down, like, when I sit down and start crocheting and when I stop, so I know and have an idea of how long it takes me, because that's how I price my stuff. But when I'm making something that I know I'm just making for myself and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, I don't really write down the times until I have to recreate it. Now, this one, my friend wants one. He wants one in black and gray, and I have the yarn for it. I'm going to be using the Loops and Threads Classic, Soft Classic yarn. I have it in gray and black. So once I get the pattern down for this one, and I'm going to remake it for him, he's a big boy. So, you know, like, I have enough yarn. When I make it for him, I'm going to time myself so I know, you know, how long it takes me to make it. And we're just going to go from there. But I'm hoping this comes out as good as I'm seeing it in my head. And yes, if I have enough, well, even if I don't have enough, that I will buy yarn to finish it, because I am putting a hoodie on this cardigan. But yeah, that's all I have for you right now. There's quite a few videos to come. Again, there's one that I want to make for my yarn labels. I want to show you all the stuff that I made. show you all the stuff that I'm going to remake. And there's a lot to come this year. And I hope everybody that's here sticks around. I hope we get more friends that join and come and watch the crazy lady who, you know, crochets and loses her mind half the time and is just a total hot mess. You know, I saw someone that I found over Vlogmas. I'm dyslexic, so if I say it backwards, I am so sorry. But I think it's Miss Megan Made Me. Miss Megan Makes Me. Miss Megan Made Me. I believe that's what her channel is called. She's lovely. I love her. I've watched all her videos, and she was making emotional support dumpster fires. And that's what I feel like half the time. A freaking dumpster fire. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you stuck around till the end. If you did, then maybe you like me. I hope so. But I will see you soon. If you do like me, hit that subscribe button and help me grow my channel. I would love to grow my channel. I would love to be on here for a while and hopefully inspire somebody, or, you know, just be here and support you and know that you're not the only dumpster fire out there. We're okay. You can be take it from me, you can be a hot mess and still be okay. And I just hope I inspired you. I hope I, you know, made you laugh a little. And if you like it here, stick around. Hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you hit that little bell, it'll let you know when I'm on. And I did not forget about going live. Probably by the time you watch this video, I would have already gone live. I might try to do it tomorrow. I'm not sure. I haven't been feeling well, so I don't want to go on live if I'm in a lot of pain. That's just not good for me. I know I joke around a lot, but that's one of my ways of coping with the pain that I'm in. And right now I'm feeling it. I don't know if you could see it on my face, but man, am I feeling it. My whole left side is numb, and I really need to take a break. But I am done for the night. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. And again, if you like the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. My foot just cracked and that hurt a lot. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, which I will. That's another one of my goals. See, I have to write these down. I want to keep up with my Facebook and my Instagram, and I will be posting more on there. And yeah, I hope you like me and you stick around. Have a great night, guys. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.